While the Resident Evil 4 remake was a solid title, it still had its problems, like some of the changed dialogue and outfits that were removed. And while I've talked about that a lot, journalists had praised these changes because it meant that the developers were respecting the female characters and weren't just turning them into ditzy eye candy. But now they've changed their minds, saying that the game actually failed the female characters. I have a few different things to show off, but before we get into the topic, if you enjoy the content that I create, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. Follow me on social media like Twitter or mine so that you can see when my content is posted. And of course, if you do really enjoy the videos and the live streams that I create, please consider becoming a Dark Titan via Patreon or a supporter via YouTube memberships. So I am using a Kotaku article, but it's an archive because I don't want to give them my clicks. The Resident Evil 4 remake totally failed Ashley Graham. These people are never happy. They praised this game originally, saying the changes were really good and they were positive and they empowered the female characters. But now that the game's been out for a few weeks, they've decided to change their tune. In 2005, Ashley Graham, preening President's daughter and your game companion throughout most of Resident Evil 4, was best known for this booming, blubbering outcry, and second best known for the moving car flashes of white underwear some fans have dubiously obsessed over for nearly 2 decades. The supposedly more socially conscious 2023 Resident Evil 4 remake reduces the frequency of Ashley's cry time and tosses her a skort for protection, but outside of a few scattered scenes doesn't add anything to make her into more of a person without her ridiculously sexist former qualities, victim and sex object. Ashley is more ghost than woman. So right away, they are acknowledging some of the changes, right? They toned down how annoying Ashley was a little bit. They also did give her a skort so that you couldn't look up her skirt and have panty shots. And while those are okay things to them, suddenly they're saying that they just didn't really do a good enough job. They didn't make her into a new person. Ashley is preoccupied by Leon the entire time she trails him, only speaking to issue him a heads up or stutter assent when he commands her to do something, and when he stops moving, she stops too to heave from all the jogging. She gets caught in bear traps, get lifted off the parasitic cult members, and can't stand to see Leon hurt, so they are complaining about her core gameplay, right? It's not like she is a, second co-op player where she can shoot a gun or stab the zombies. She doesn't do any of that. Yes, she follows Leon or she moves right beside him. She either trails or follows, and that's just how she is in the remake. And that isn't good enough to them. They're basically mad that they didn't make her the main character that you play as. Even Ashley's expectantly corny quips, which for other characters are stilled but real opportunities for personality, revolve around Leon. Oh no, the female character who happens to be saved by the male character likes him? Oh, that's just awful. I mean, these people will complain about anything. The longer I spend with her, the less I feel I know who she is. They are angry, okay, that they didn't flesh Ashley out, that they didn't give her an entire backstory and, chapters to, expanding upon her character. And while, yes, she is a pretty interesting character, even though she's annoying at times, that was never the point of Resident Evil 4. The point of Resident Evil 4 is that you are Leon trying to save this woman. It is as simple as that. In the remake, we do have a chapter, or at least part of a chapter, where we play as Ashley, but she's basically trying to get back to Leon, and that isn't that far-fetched. She is not a fighter. She does not know combat. She is unable to survive on her own. That's why she needs Leon. This is why I always say developers shouldn't change their games for people. They changed this title to respect the women more, as the journalists said. They removed the upskirt shots, they removed some of the flirting and some of the more sexually themed jokes to try and please these people so that she wasn't just a sex object and, a damsel in distress, but it's never enough for them. And not only has Kotaku changed their tune, but Polygon has as well. Resident Evil's Ada Wong goes head to head with sexpionage stereotypes. This was another character that they decided to cover up. They decided to change the way that her outfits looked a little bit, and of course they did tone back some of her dialogue and some of the actions that she does. Again, no panty shots. But they say, let's get one thing clear, I am obsessed with Ada. While she first appeared in Resident Evil 2 as a spy in Raccoon City, I first got acquainted with her during my playthrough of the original RE4. Needless to say, I immediately loved her. Ada is a femme fatale to the core, always wearing a seductive red dress and doing killer flips while fighting and zipping around with her hookshot. When I found out about Ada's specific extra content separate ways, I sped through the ending of RE4 to get it, and of course I giggled and kicked my feet up every time she showed up in the remake. It says, though, that she is a very fun character in the game, but the cinematic approach comes with plenty of action movie tropes. Ada is Asian American, though, and that impacts the reading of the femme fatale trope, since she also ends up falling very neatly into the derogatory dragon lady trope, which portrays Asian female characters as deceitful, mysterious, villainous, and domineering. Ada really only falls under the mysterious category. She's not really a villain, she's not very deceitful, she's a fantastic character, in my opinion, but of course they are angry that they didn't do away with her mysterious, attitude and just kind of the air of mystery that surrounds her. They're basically mad that they didn't completely change her character for this remake. She was always a pretty flirtatious character, and that is a way that she shows how she's a confident character. She's not afraid to make a few jokes, and she's got a lot of amazing one-liners that show how badass she is. Yes, her femininity is a central part of her character, and that shouldn't be a negative thing, but to people like this, it is. While she's not the primary character, she has been a reoccurring plus important cast member, and that should be enough for them. There are some decent game journalists out there still, but they are few and far between. This is why I do not trust Kotakus and Polygons and The Gamers. It's why I don't go to their site to look for information. I play games myself and judge them, or watch movies and TV shows and judge them. This is why people have no faith in game journalists, because they'll always find something to complain about. They are never freaking happy. And now, of course, they are suddenly angry about the Resident Evil 4 remake totally failing its female characters. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this and of course found it important and informative, please make sure to give it a like, share it, and subscribe to the channel. And of course, if you didn't, make sure to give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.